There we are, fish on. First dropping on the paste, and it's gone straight under. Feels like a decent fish. And I'm at Rushton Lake today, controlled by Desborough and Rossville AC, and I'm here to show you some tips to get a bit more out of your paste fishing. Some lovely fish in this lake, that's why I chose it. It's such a nice special venue to fish. It's about 6 foot there where I'm fishing, and perfect for a paste attack. Nice strong tackle anyway. There we are. Brilliant. What a start. That's our first fish from Rushton Lake. Hopefully plenty more to come, and hopefully we're going to bag up on the paste today. Just had 3 fish and 3 drop-ins, and it's surprisingly good out there actually. I'm itching to get back out there, but I better tell you what I'm actually doing, hadn't I? So I've come to fish paste. So nothing complicated about paste at all. It's just a bag of green Super Crush green ground bait and slopped up, and I like a nice sloppy paste, nothing too firm. I just find it easier for the fish to suck in and slurp in without any sort of suspicion or anything. And the reason paste is so good is I class it as a big weight tactic. When the fish are hungry, you pick out quality fish, you seem to pick out bigger fish, and when the conditions are right, as long as it's not too windy, there's not too much tow on the lake and it's not pouring down with rain and stuff, paste can be unbeatable. It allows you to fish with strong line, big hooks, strong elastics, and it allows you to sort of boss those bigger fish and get them in nice and efficiently, and just do a big weight. When the fish are on the paste, it's a method that's really hard to beat. So today I'm just going to be fishing my favourite green ground bait, and I'm actually going to be fishing it over hemp today. Now hemp's nice and heavy, sinks really fast, really gets the fish rooting around foraging, but what they'll find over this heavy hemp is a nice big mouthful of paste over the top, and it's much easier for them to slurp in that paste over heavy particles like hemp. You could use sweet corn, you could use 4mm, 6mm pellets, but in my experience, carp especially love foraging over hemp, and it's a brilliant bait to fish paste over. Not everyone really fishes paste over hemp, but it's something I was taught a long time ago by a top match angler called Jamie Hughes, who showed me how to fish paste over hemp many years ago. Helped me win the UK champs one year, and I've been doing it ever since. So that's what we're going to be doing out there, and in the shallower water down the margins, I quite like fishing paste over micro pellets. I don't like fishing micro pellets in the deeper water because the fish go a little bit too crazy for them, and it's just as easy for them to eat the micro pellets as it is the paste. I'd rather use bigger, heavier particles out there, but I quite like micro pellets down the edge. So we can try both. There's so many things you can fish paste over, but that's what we're doing. Paste over micros down the edge and paste over hemp in the deeper water. Give this 10 seconds and I'm going to go in and feed another big pot of hemp. And what I might do is just feed down the margins as well whilst we're at it, most of the time. Nice big third of a pot of hemp. There. And some micros down the side. Really attack those margins. If they come down there, they're going to be hungry. See if they'll come straight over that. Just make sure it's not wrapped around anything. And I'll vary the size of the paste as well. Nice big generous bits can be really good, but some days, you know, little hazelnut sized bits can be good. Surprising how big a bit of paste though those fish will suck in. Right, see how quickly we get a bite over that half pot of hemp. I played around with it for a little bit then, but I just sat on my hands, made sure I didn't strike until I knew it had it. We had a nice positive bite. And a better fish straight after that decent pot of bait. I think that's the key today. They want some grub. I'm using 16 to 18 slick, so it's nice and strong. I could go up to the 18 to 20 or even the orange 20 to 22, but I just think this gives us a nice chance with whatever we catch. If there's any bream about or any foul hook fish, I just tend to find you get them in a bit easier on this screen. But some days I will fish a lot more fierce. Nice mirror. Lovely fish in this venue. Come on. Come to Johnny. Really, next time. Getting a bit bigger. Right, I'm going to feed another big pot full. Well, after kicking the swim off with one big pot of hemp, the process for shipping out and getting the bait into the swim is pretty straightforward actually. The first thing I'm going to do, I've got my top kit there. I like to put the whole pole together because I'm only fishing 6-7 meters out tops at the moment. I can put my whole pole together, that's 5 sections of pole, and it just means when I am shipping out there's less chance of getting tangles and bouncing the paste out because the top kit's already on the pole, and I've got a nice high pole roller behind me which allows me to do that. So that's one less thing to be worrying about. Now I've got a nice big size 12 MXC2 hook there. Big hook is important with this. You can't get too small really. You can't go too big really. I've got a nice long tag on there deliberately as well, which helps the paste cling to the hook a little bit more. And I'm going to dunk my fingers in the water. It just helps the paste stop sticking to your fingers too much. Nice big dollop of paste. I don't overwork it. I'm just going to flatten it a bit, put the hook in the middle, fold it over. Now I could put it straight in the pot like that, which I often do. Sometimes I'll just dunk it in the water and just make it a bit gloopier as well. That tends to make it a bit heavier and go straight down, and you will get a slight plume of attraction coming off, but the bulk of it will go straight down. Now I could ship out just like that, but on this case, because I've not been fishing for a little bit, I'm going to top up with a bit more hemp. Obviously you could use corn or pellets or whatever. That's important why I've got a big pot as well, so I can put some feed in as well as the paste. So that's it, we're good to go. The most important thing now to make sure is this line here is not snagged up on anything. There's a bit of a breeze coming into my face, and I don't want the line to snag around my front leg of my box, for instance. I've got no feeder arms or rod rests in the way either. So I should be able to ship out unhindered. That's it. And then my pot's a bit far back from my pole tip, which I'll explain in a bit why. But I'm going to push my pole out a bit further than I'm actually fishing, and then bring my float over where exactly that paste landed. And then it's all going to go down. There's no shot at all down the line at the moment. Sometimes I'll bring some shot down if it was windy or towing and that, but at the moment absolutely nothing down the line. So we've just got a nice big dollop of paste and the feed all down the same hole, a perfect little trap. And I'm going to give it a minute, and then if I don't get a bite, I'll just strike the paste off and repeat. But I expect to bite pretty quick with paste, and importantly, I don't want to strike at any little dips or taps. See that tapped and everything there? I just want a nice positive sail away. Sometimes it'll be a slow bite, but it just needs to, that tip needs to go fully under, and I'll only strike at a positive bite. Had a couple of small carp, a couple of little mirrors, nice to see. So I'm just going in with the paste now, just paste on its own. It just feels like there's a few fish there. And but if I catch another fish, if it's a small one, I'm itching to have a look down the edge. So we'll try and catch one more out here. I've topped up once with a decent pot of micros again down the side. I can't see any plumes of mud or anything kicking up, but it's about 3 foot deep down there. So you might not see any signs of fish, but it does look fishy down there. So we're going to try and catch one more here first. That last fish came really fast on this line, but it was a smaller fish. They've got a little bit smaller, the last 2 or 3 fish. So we just see if we can just catch them bigger down the side. Another small one. Oh, like I said, there's a skimmer. I think that's our cue to have a look down the edge. Halfway through the session, I've already run out of paste, so let's quickly knock up some more and show you exactly what I do. Now you can buy dedicated paste mixes. I personally just use a fish meal ground pellet based ground bait, and I do like a green paste, always have done, and Super Crush Green I've been using all season, it's been brilliant. So I don't measure it like some people do. I just try to do it by eye and by feel really. Yeah. It'll swell up a lot once you add a lot of water, so you know there's enough there for a few hours, I'm sure. And I'm just going to slop it up, just dollop it in, and it'll look like you've ruined it. It'll turn to like soupy porridge, and you think, well, that's ruined. But that, believe it or not, in 5-10 minutes will thicken right up, and we might even have to add a bit more water. That looks like soup at the moment, but I know look, it's already thickening up as I'm stirring it there, but that's completely saturated. I've got in all the corners, and in 5-10 minutes time, boom, that'll be ready. We'll come back to that in a sec, and you'll see exactly what I mean, but already that's firming up. And what I generally do anyway is once it is firmed up, I'll have it nice and firm in one corner, and I might add a little bit water at a time, just wet my fingers and just mix and just wet another corner just to get exactly the right consistency, somewhere between sloppy to firm. Well, it's probably not even been 3 or 4 minutes, but that looked like I completely ruined it earlier, didn't it? But already it's firmed up, and that sort of consistency isn't bad. That's nice if there's a lot of fish in the peg or the peg's slightly deep, but actually I'll wet that even more, just a little drip, and I'll just work it. And that's why I have a tub of water on my side tray as well, just to get exactly the consistency I want. And you just want it wet, nice and heavy and wet and fully saturated. And the wetter it is, actually the more it will stick together when it's on the bottom. If it's dry, it will break down very, very quick and sort of dissolve off the hook very fast. So once it's fully saturated, less water can get to it, so it stays around the hook a lot easier. But that's pretty much how I like it now, so we're ready to start fishing again. Down my left margin, it's just been small carp so far, so I fired up my right hand margin where it's like sort of half the depth, sort of 20 inches deep. So I've fed a big pot down that side as well, and I've gone back long, another big pot of them, and I'm latched into a much more sort of plodding fish. So I think it's a bit bigger, proper pace fish I think. He's certainly pulling. They do fight in this venue. Yeah. Oh no, it's just a slightly bigger common. Not a massive hippo like we'd like, but it's still a good fish. Don't give up, do they? He's fighting like a fish twice his size. There you are, about 5 or 6 pounds. Lovely. Well, rigs for pace fishing don't need to be complicated at all. You just want a nice, strong, long bristled, slim float. And I carry two styles. A shorter one for margin fishing and a longer one for open water fishing, sort of 4 foot plus depths, and the shorter one for sort of anything up to about 3.5 foot. And these are just Pablo RWC pace floats. Nice sort of 2mm bristle and a glass stem, really strong, not going to fail on you. It's a really sort of it's a really rigorous method this, so you want durable tackle, so you need strong floats. And I generally use 020 line. I generally fish it direct to a size 12 MXC2 hook. That's as simple as it gets, 020 direct to a 12. You could use a hook length. The pre-tied MXC2 are to 020 and a 12 as well. So if you want a weaker point in your rig, then use the hook lengths. But I actually prefer to go direct, and then you've got no weak points in your rig and ultimate strength when you're pace fishing. We'll have a look at the rigs on the actual top kits. Oh, and I also store 2 floats on each winder, just saves a bit of space in your winder tray. So for the deep rig, I've got a 0.3 gram pace float, and that, again, like I said, it's on 020 line, direct to a 12, a longish tag on the spade. I tie the spade end by hand and leave a longish tag. That's another reason why I like to tie my own hooks. And then above the rig, if it's windy, I'll have a couple of back shot, and if it's not windy, I don't know if you can see there, but I've actually got a rubber that I've put on one of the back shot, and if it's not windy, that top rubber I can actually slide onto the bristle of the float, and it cuts down on tangles completely then, because there's nothing to wrap around at all then. But when it's windy, you've got a bit of a crosswind like I have today, I take that off, so and then just slide it onto my back shot so it's out the way, and then I'll just fish it like that, and it just keeps it a little bit more steady. But if it's a really flat, calm, lovely day, put the rubber on the bristle, and you can fish directly over the float, and you definitely won't get tangles that way. And because it's quite a deep peg today, so at least 6 foot, probably nearer 7 foot today, my pace pot is quite far down my top kit, so we get a nice U shape, which again isn't going to propeller and tangle as you ship in and out. In contrast, my margin pace rig, my pole pot is a lot nearer because it's a lot shallower, so a lot less drop, and you can get a bit nearer the pole tip. I know some top pace anglers have the pole pot right on the end of the tip, but personally prefer to have it a little bit back because it just cuts down on tangles. Obviously you've just got to remember when you're potting in to bring your pole back over where the paste lands. Now that's a Matrix pot with 2 extender rings on, which is great if you need a paste pot that goes near the end of the float, near the end of the top kit. That's the furthest it will go back on a Matrix top kit. For the deeper swims, I tend to use, I've got some homemade float pots, or I've got some, you can use dedicated paste pots as well. But you want something that's got plenty of volume, so you can put a nice big bit of paste in of any size, but also a bit of feed if you want as well. Some people put 2 pots on the end of the top kit, but for me I just rather have one nice big pot. And so that's it. Oh, an elastic is it's good old faithful 16 to 18 slick. You could use even stronger, 18 to 20, even orange 20 to 22. Some people go lighter, but I think when you're using a size 12 hook, 020 line, big hook, big gears, strong tackle, after big fish, don't mess around, use nice strong elastic as well. So that's it. And I can actually see a couple of fish tailing up down the edge as I'm talking. So I think it's time we went down there and had a look. So I have noticed some fish down there. There's still some tail patterns there now. So I'm going to pop a bit more bait in because they've probably spread it out a little bit. And I don't think it'll be long before they're tailing up on that. That's mostly hemp, but a little bit of micros as well. And they seem to like it today. Oh yeah, I can see one straight away on it. Saw that one coming up the bank. Brilliant. They were misbehaving a little bit, so I've just come into even shallower water, a lot tighter to the bank because they were definitely getting behind the float. I wasn't expecting them so early in the day to be coming behind the float into really shallow water, but they're obviously very hungry, and even 2 foot of water was too deep, so I've come into 18 inches and literally first chuck going in that shallower water, and I've got a bigger fish. It's sometimes the case, the biggest fish will come in the shallowest water. It's just having a hook bait on that you can catch them with, and paste is one of those sorts of hook baits that they'll hook in, they'll take without caution. Lovely fish. Oh, bad angling, come on. This time. But you can apply a bit of pressure with this paste tackle though, so that's always reassuring to know you've got the strongest gear on. There you are, decent fish. There we are, another Rushden Lake torpedo down the margins on the paste. Well, there we are, that was a pretty savage bite, and as long as I get it in, I think I'm going to make that the last fish. It's been a brilliant sport, to be honest. Started off short, top kitten 2, top kitten 3 sections, paste over hemp, and it was good, but the overall stamp was quite small there. Tried down the left in 3 foot of water down the margins. A few fish, but again the overall stamp wasn't massive, so I've swung round same distance towards the main part of the lake, and that's where the bigger, older warriors seem to be. Shallower water, I'm catching in about 16 inches of water now, and you can actually see them. It's brilliant to watch, seeing them tail up. They've not been easy to catch down there, but brilliant bites when you get them. So this will be our last fish, if I get him in. But God, do they fight at this place. And they've definitely wanted some bait as well. Nice little mirror to end with. So there we go. Just unhook him. Could be about £3. Chunky little mirror to end with. We've still got a bit of fight in him, but that's our last fish. 2.5, £3. And he's he wants to get back and eat some more hemp, I think. So we'll slip him straight back, and we'll have a look at what we've caught. Well, there you are, just some of the fish we've had today, all on the paste. Absolutely brilliant fishing here at Rushden Lake. And I'll slip them quickly back, but if you like this video and you want to see more like this, don't forget to click like and subscribe on the Matrix YouTube channel, and hopefully we'll catch plenty more nets like this.